we have our first new moon of the year of 2025 coming up on January 29th, and it is a new moon in Aquarius. So there's a lot of things that are maybe unexpected, maybe breaking the norms that we will be feeling like starting around this time. So let's dive into what the astrology has to say about this new moon in Aquarius, and then what we as magical beings can do to work with this energy and utilize it for our benefit and progress. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see here, we're looking at a chart where not a lot is above the horizon at this point. It's just happening at around sunrise. So we know this because we're looking at a new moon, first of all, happening at sunrise. How can I look at the chart and see this? I'm looking at this AC right here, the ascendant. That is actually the eastern horizon of the sky of the location that we are working with here. So I know that the sun is above the horizon because in this chart where the upper half here would be the sky we're looking at, in this chart we have the sun above the horizon. It has just risen maybe within the last hour or so. So this new moon will perfect around 7:35 a.m. I know that around this time of year, it's around 7:10, 7:12 that we have the official sunrise for the East Coast at least. And this is on East Coast time. So you can adjust that for your time zone. It may not be sunrise for you, but it'll be whatever the same moment of 7:35 a.m. East Coast time is for you. So for example, on the West Coast, you would subtract 3 hours and it'll still be before sunrise, but that is when the moon is perfecting. And we know this is a new moon because we've got our moon right there next to the sun at 9 degrees Aquarius and 51 minutes. So this is a new moon. This is the moon conjunct the sun. The moon has gone around the whole chart, the whole zodiac, and is coming to be renewed by the sun's rays. You kind of dip into the heat and you get reforged and you emerge anew. That's the method and the theory that goes behind that. So the moon and the sun are not alone in this. They have just close by, though, behind them. So it's something that would have happened in the past, the energy that is carrying with them. They had already conjoined with Pluto and Mercury. And actually, this happened in the previous week. But seeing as they're still in the same space and the moon makes things more personal, the moon would have conjoined in the previous day. So we have these energies of Pluto and Mercury being drawn into this new moon feeling. Perhaps because it happened before the new moon, it's still this place of energetic healing. So we've got a lot of Pluto's themes of kind of death and rebirth, letting something pass on so that we can do something new, laying a piece of us to the side so that we can integrate that and then move forward in new power, which is really where Pluto comes in. And then Mercury, of course, gives us communication, gives us thoughts and ideas, especially being in this airy sign of Aquarius. We have Mercury having strategy, having awareness of the bigger picture, having a social awareness going on with this. And so a lot of those keywords and factors may come into flavor this new moon that we're experiencing. And of course, as always, check out where the sign of Aquarius is in your personal chart, or you can go to the Modern School of Ancient Wisdom free tier on Patreon or any of my social accounts at Crystal and Sophia. I do the horoscopes for you for every lunar phase. So you can check out there all the astromath done for you and a coaching question to encourage you this week. So what we're seeing here then is the moon and the sun and Mercury and Pluto also there. And then is there any other connection to other planets? And the answer to that is yes. Even though Venus and Saturn and Neptune over here can't be seen or see anything going on here because they're too close. Imagine a blind spot on a car. The same kind of goes with Mars. Mars is what is called an aversion as well. It's that back blind spot on your car. However, we do have Jupiter over here in this nice trine to the moon. And the moon, you can see, is at 9, while Jupiter is at 11 and moving backwards. They are applying to each other. Imagine two people smiling and running towards each other in a field. That's what's happening in this energy. And it is a happy energy because it is a trine. It's easy for this to come about. Jupiter is a benefic planet. So we have good things to expect here. So whatever we're laying to rest, whatever we're integrating and processing, we can say that even though the journey may be one that takes more steps than we anticipated, Jupiter being in detriment in Gemini, that we can see the far-reaching picture. We have that Aquarian eagle eye view of what's going on. And so we can see the purpose, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that means that this Jupiterian process of going through all the baby steps to get there will feel worth it because at least we know what we're walking towards. And a lot of this, Aquarius has some themes that it'll share with that Pluto of really looking at the paradigms that we're in right now and saying, how do I feel about this? How can I still be myself within the greater culture, within the greater story that I am playing a role in? And so things that are important to know are that we have options. We always have options. You always have choices that you can make, even within situations that may feel restricting. And Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So we get this sort of hard line of maybe it's not the traditional ways things were done, but it is a new law that we're trying to form ourselves around. It is a new way of doing things, a new paradigm. And Saturn in this case is in Pisces, not able to see the sun and the moon, but is in Pisces all the same. And so that governor of this sign is saying, we don't really know where this is going. Pisces is amalgamous. Pisces is cloudy and hazy. So we don't know where this is going, but we are making it up as we go along. We are laying the breadcrumbs for ourselves so that we can go back and assess this and figure it out later. And so as a society, that takes time, right? We've been figuring it out for a couple of years now, and we're still in the process of defining ourselves, redefining what the world looks like now. There has been so much going on in the astrology since, you guessed it, 2020, that it is not surprising that we're still laying groundwork. This is still the first pass of the cement, and we need to be able to make sure that it is smooth before we can even let it dry. So that's where we're at. It means we have plenty of time to do that. I will tell you that if you are stressed about the astrology and the times right now, I have been working on the global astrology or the world astrology for the year ahead. I will be sharing that soon with the Modern School of Ancient Wisdom, but also in tidbits with everywhere else. So there is cause for hope, and know that we are in a time of endurance. And that's really important to keep in mind. Saturn is getting a lot of subtle power in a lot of things right now. And so it's important to remember that endurance, going in for the long haul, looking at the long journey and not the quick payoff, is where we're going to be at with this. So what do I recommend you do this week? I really want you to look at why you're doing what you do, how you can look at your life and realize how unique you are and what is important to you. To do that tangibly, all you have to do is journal or take a little bit of a log of the things that you do, whether it's the purchases you make, the activities you choose to do to fill your time. What is that? In the example of the purchases, I spent money on a coffee. Why did I do that? I wanted to catch up with some friends. That's where we went. And how did that feel? Felt really good. I caught up with my friends. And now you're realizing that this place you put your energetic investment into was a good thing for you. And so you don't have to feel guilt about it anymore, even if it's not what society says you should be doing. I rearranged my furniture and took out the living room couch and I did that because I prefer sitting on the floor. How did that feel? Comfortable for once. Well, society be darned then. Have your floor couch or whatever you need. So just know that you do not have to fit the conventions in order to be yourself. You do not have to fit the conventions in order to live a happy life. And so my affirmation for this week is I am unique and I have options. I'm unique and I have options. Take a log of the things that you want to record, whether it's how you spend your money, how you spend your time, how you invest your focus. Say what you did, say why you did it, and say how that made you feel. And I want to give credit to Tori Dunlap of Financial Feminist, because that is where I got this sort of method, which of course she applies to your finances, but it works across the board in anything that you are focused on right now. I hope that you have a really wonderful moment of self-appreciation during this new moon. You are starting a journey of understanding how you can be yourself no matter what the circumstances. And I'm here with you. We're all doing this together, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.